Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to check in with Bulldog women's basketball and joined by head coach Kurt Westendorp. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks, glad to be here.
I know back from the Upper Peninsula, we're recording this early in the week, but another trip to Lake Superior this week, and obviously a busy stretch as you come back to face Michigan Tech this weekend.
Yeah, it's a really big stretch for our team, so it was nice to be able to get a split up north for this first weekend to come back with at least a little bit of momentum. So tomorrow, Tuesday night, we'll head up back across the bridge again and then have another day off and just keep trying to save their legs going into Michigan Tech.
Obviously, coming into this past weekend, when you went to Northern Michigan, you were coming off a big win, your first win of the year over Parkside. How much confidence did that maybe give your team going into this trip?
Well, you could see growth in that first game. So offensively, I think we're starting to hit our rhythm a little bit more of the things that we've been teaching and working on. They're starting to become a little bit more natural out on the court. Defensively is where we kind of struggled in that first game, but really turned it around for game two. The defense really stepped up and played just a lot more intentional with what we were doing on the defensive end. So it's nice to get a little bit of momentum going with still having some of the ups and downs.
As we go to some of the highlights here of the first game on Saturday, obviously different than playing at Northern Michigan in years past, playing in their practice facility here.
It's very different. Kind of felt like a controlled scrimmage at first. You walk in the gym and there's just, the handful of folks that are in there and the officials. So it was a good setting to play basketball in, though. I think our girls settled in really nicely. So that first half of that first game, we did like I said, a very good job offensively. We moved the ball, we got open looks, we kind of took what they gave us. They tried to play a little bit of junk D on us early, but Deshauna Day did a nice job of kind of shooting them out of that. And really just had a great attack for most of the weekend. Just the problems in this game were defensively and getting stops.
Obviously, here back and forth first quarter, and then they took the lead with the second quarter, and obviously that's been one quarter that you'd like to have back in a few games this year.
Yeah, I think that what we were trying to do against them defensively is we were really trying to make them shoot the ball from the outside. It was something that they had struggled with going into this game. We were really trying to take away their post play, a lot of the easy baskets that they had opportunities to get. So we were doubling the post, letting them swing the ball from the outside. And I mean, it was kind of pick your poison. They're a very tall team, very long, lots of mismatches for us. And they hit 12 threes. So you kind of have to live with that. That was the strategy going in. But they give them credit. They knocked down shots.
Obviously, your kids continue to compete here in the second half. And how much going down the stretch here, when you know it's going to be tough to come back, how much does that play into what happens maybe on the second day?
Well, really, when you're going in these games where in that fourth quarter, we faced a deficit. We were down mostly double digits for most of that quarter. When you have a chance to come back and play them again the next day, you can start working on some things. You can start knowing that, hey, we got to fight all the way till this buzzer, knowing that it will carry over to the next day. I think momentum will carry over from day to day, and you can't just let a game get away from you and then completely try to restart.
Obviously, 77-61 the final score here on Saturday, and you got another game on Sunday, and I know talked with Coach Bronkema about this before. When you lose that first game here in these back-to-backs, how challenging does that make that night for you before you get a chance to take the floor again?
Well, it's challenging as a coaching staff, and that we got to just dive right in. But Jasmine Brown, my assistant coach, did a great job on reviewing the tape, really getting the team kind of focused together during that afternoon and evening on Saturday. She really stepped up and did a great job preparing our team and showing them on film, okay, everything that we were attempting to do, we were just a little bit undisciplined with it. We didn't have to make a huge swing in what our game plan was. We just had to tighten up and be a little bit more disciplined in our plan of attack. So offensively, we jumped out and we did a great job. We got downhill. We had a lot of mismatches on the offensive end where we were able to take advantage of them, move the ball really well. We had key players knock down shots. Zoe Anderson had a great game knocking down shots. Here she is right there after getting a steal and a layup. We forced quite a few turnovers, and then we just played so much tougher on the defensive end. When you come out and you lose that first game, you kind of have to have an edge when you come out for that second game, and we've done a good job of that.
I mentioned that nice to shoot 50% from the floor, but when you force 22 turnovers, that really helps the cause on the defensive end.
Yeah, we got a lot of deflections. So like I said, we were really undersized when it comes to what Michigan Tech rolls out, or what Northern Michigan rolls out there, because they roll out 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", 5'10", 5'9". So they're a tall, long team, but we really bothered them with just being pesky and aggressive, and we had a lot of deflections. So getting 22 turnovers was a key number for us.
You had the lead, double-digit lead here at halftime, and you expanded that lead here in the third quarter. But then, obviously, as good teams do, they made a comeback on you, and you had to make some plays down the stretch.
Yeah, they have great players. So we got up by as many as 18, I believe, here in that third quarter. We really came out with a great mindset and great attitude. But like most good teams in the GLIAC will, Northern responded. So in that fourth quarter, they did some things that really were tough for us to guard. We kind of committed a few too many fouls, put them to the line a few too many times. But I was impressed with our resilience. You know, they were coming back on us. They were coming back on us. We didn't hang our heads. You know, we just had to play a little bit better and kind of keep our aggressiveness up. When we picked our aggressiveness back up, we were able to finish off. And right here, that was the key basket right there. Caden Blanchard getting it down deep, getting the ball into Ari to kind of seal it for us.
Obviously, Caden Blanchard has had some big games for you. Mallory McCarty's had some big games. How nice was it to get some of those other players in the scoring column like Zoe Anderson, Ariel Jenkins in this game?
I think they're starting to get a little more comfortable. So I think to start off the year, you know, we kind of knew who our main scorers were going to be, but it kind of takes a few games for people to try to find their feet. So I think Zoe's been getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better every single game. She's playing with more confidence. I think we saw that on Sunday. You know, she wasn't thinking too much. She was just letting the game come to her. I think the same thing with Ari. You know, Ari's starting to finally understand what it takes to play like at the GLIAC level, night in and night out, and she really settled in, and she's rebounding the ball excellent, and she's starting to get a few more post touches and a few more finishes. That's really going to help us as we go along the year to have more and more people be comfortable in their roles, because it's completely different roles than a lot of these players had to play in last year. So once we get more of that comfort level, we'll be a more balanced team.
Obviously, taking on Lake Superior, Michigan Tech this week. How big are these games within the division here as you continue conference play?
I think it's just huge for us to keep momentum going. So I think if we have a chance to an opportunity to go up there tomorrow night, if we can really play a very disciplined defensive game. So like offensively, we've been rolling, we've been getting good shots, we've been getting what we want. If we can play a defensively disciplined game, I think that'll set us up with momentum going into Tech, because Tech is a big challenge for us.
Obviously, as we've seen here in the GLIAC, any given night, anyone really capable of winning in this league.
Yeah, I think you saw it when you looked across the scores across all the weekend. Every single matchup was a split except for one. So you had 5 splits. So any given night, you go in there and anyone can knock off anyone.
Obviously, going through this year, it's not a typical season. How have the players really handled and responded to everything going on with the pandemic?
You probably wouldn't know it when you show up to our practices and we're traveling, other than, you know, we're wearing masks, we're staying socially distanced from one another. Once the ball goes in the air, it's just basketball. So it's kind of nice. It's their release. You know, they're having fun with it. You know, they're playing without masks a little bit more now that we're being tested a little bit more. So they're smiling. They're doing really well with it.
Obviously, you're playing without some key players here with injuries, but I know that hasn't been an excuse for you guys, and you just keep battling on with the players you have in uniform.
Well, we talked about that also on Saturday night after the game. I told them, like, there's one thing I hate and there's one thing I love. You know, I hate people that make excuses. You know, we have a great group that's on the court with us right now. They're battling. They're getting better. You know, the only players that have a chance to play are those that are healthy. You know, those that are injured, they're rehabbing their butts off. They're trying to get back as soon as they possibly could, but it's just the situation that we're in. You know, the thing we hate is excuses, but the thing we love are teams. So, and our team is kind of leaning on that person to the right, person on the left. They're playing hard for that person on the right and their person on the left, knowing that, hey, everyone's got to give all they have for us to be successful this year.
Well, Coach, thanks for being with us. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck here in this busy week.
Thanks, Rob.
That'll do it for Ferris Sports Update. A reminder, you can follow all the action online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Have a great week.